Okay, folks, the uh, District of Columbia Appeals Court just handed down its opinion in TikTok versus the United States government. This is the TikTok ban case. And the ruling is that the ban is upheld, as in it's a valid law, and TikTok will be banned unless something else happens. So TikTok and then some other plaintiffs, creators on the platform, raised a number of arguments that the law is unconstitutional. The First Amendment claim, there is a Fifth Amendment equal protection claim. There is a Bill of Attainder claim, which is interesting. Uh, and then there's a Fifth Amendment taking of private property claim. I'll go through each. So the court holds that the First Amendment applies, and they hold that the law is content neutral, but that it touches on content so much that they're going to apply what's called strict scrutiny. Strict scrutiny is a very, very difficult standard to meet. Most laws fail strict scrutiny, so if strict scrutiny is applied, usually they fall. That didn't happen here, right? Reason why it appears is that this is a really detailed factual finding for this law. The government has put forward that this is a very serious national security concern, and although they haven't given that information to the public, they have said that this is a very serious national security concern, and the courts usually don't question the government's motives when they say this is a very serious national security concern, and the court usually, historically, does not get in the way of the government when it wants to do something like this. And this is no different. The DC Circuit said that the government's justifications are very compelling. It walks through all of the evidence about TikTok collecting data, how the Chinese government can access it, content manipulation, and it also says that the act is what it calls narrowly tailored. So under the First Amendment, you have to narrowly tailor the law. You can't just have like a sweeping ban. You have to have something that is very specific to address the concerns, the government interests that are at play. Here, the court says that the act is narrowly tailored, which normally a ban, just an outright ban like they're doing of TikTok, is not narrowly tailored, which is, that's really interesting to me. And the main reason is that, they say that we can't figure out whether China's manipulating content, and so you can't ban, or you have to ban it because there's no way for you to figure out whether they are manipulating things, and so because you can't really figure that out, nothing less than a ban, right, or full purchase by an American company would do the job. The Fifth Amendment equal protection claim is, they kind of toss it to the side. The court doesn't really think that it's a big deal. They dismiss it as, the government's got a good reason for what it's doing, and that's enough when you're, making a business regulation like they're doing here. All right, Bill of Attainder. This is something that doesn't come up. This is a real legal nerd paradise here, right? So break out your old pocket constitution, go to Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution, right? And then Article 1, Section 10. A Bill of Attainder is basically where the legislature decrees that you did something illegal and bars you, and only you, right, from doing something as a punishment, right? It's basically the legislature kind of usurping the judiciary's role in a way, right? And the people who wrote the Constitution were very concerned about those kinds of things when they happened under the British Empire, and so they banned it in the Constitution. Since then, things have developed, so now we have more case law around bills of attainder. Basically, there's a two-part test. The first part is whether a single person, or here a company, is singled out. Here TikTok was singled out, so they meet. And the second question is whether it's a punishment. Now, I personally have some issues with this case law. Courts are they do a lot of backflips to say something's not a punishment. And here they say that this is not a punishment. It's very technical. I would recommend reading the opinion yourself. I'm having difficulty understanding it without really digging into it. I'm trying to just put this video out just to kind of inform people. So I would recommend reading it. If y'all want, I'll dig into the Bill of Attainder section and explain it more, but just know that TikTok loses here. The final theory is the takings clause. So the takings clause says, your property can't be taken without just compensation. It's part of the Fifth Amendment. So eminent domain. Think of eminent domain when the government says, hey, we got to buy your house to build this highway, so we're going to pay you for it. So TikTok says, hey, you're forcing us to sell, right? And you're banning us outright. That's a taking of our property, right? And the court says, no, because you're getting paid for it. The statute, requires a divestiture, right? Basically, that TikTok be sold to an American buyer. And the court basically says, yeah, that's enough, right? You might be able to, argue around the margins of that, but because we're not completely just wiping out everything, right? You will get some money for this, right? That's enough under the takings clause. And that's it. It's a long opinion, but I was able to get through it in this video. TikTok will be banned unless the Supreme Court intervenes, which I have a feeling they will on this case, or President Biden grants a 90-day extension, and he is only under the law allowed to do one extension of 90 days. If nothing happens, TikTok's done in the U.S. It will be illegal to operate it in the U.S. And I don't think this is going to be a situation where, you can access TikTok. I think it's going to be really hard to access TikTok after this, because all the app stores are going to take it down, and I don't think it's going to happen, guys. But who knows? Supreme Court might intervene. We'll see. Let me know if you have any questions.